Yeah, I've spoken a fair bit about negative gearing in the past, and over many years we've seen a lot of people go into a lot of debt to chase negative gearing and the tax deduction that provides. And I think there's a perception that if something's negatively geared and you're saving tax, then it's a particularly good thing. Now, I just wanted to throw, I suppose, a different way of thinking about it, or just instead of calling it negative gearing, which has got a perceived value to it, but if we just put it a different way, it may get people to think about the way they invest, particularly into residential property, a little bit differently. So instead of saying, we negatively geared and this will save you tax and everyone's then happy and think that's a great thing, I think if we think about it in a way that if I said to you that I'd like you to borrow $300,000-400,000, I'd like you to put it all into one asset, so one property, so you've got little or no diversification and a huge amount of money invested into that. I want it to be all debt, so it's all debt driven completely. I want it to be an interest only loan, so you're actually making no repayments whatsoever. And each and every year I want you to lose somewhere between $4,000 and $10,000 on the investment. And then you can have a think about how that sounds and whether that's an attractive thing to do. But I'm telling you to invest into one asset, and then I want you to lose money on it each and every year. Now, it doesn't sound that attractive now. There's lots of ways that we can reduce tax without going into debt, without taking on high levels of debt, and hoping that asset can go up. Now, property investments in the past have gone up in some parts. In some parts, I've seen even in the last 10 years where people have taken on high levels of debt and it's been negatively geared, and they're continually forking money into the to keep the loan afloat, and then 10 to 11 years later they haven't got back what they paid for the property. And some people have done extremely well, so it depends where they invest and what advice they sought at the time as to where they invest and why. So I think the term negative gearing requires a little bit more explanation. We did a video on what a tax deduction means, and it is the old classic spend $1 to save 34 cents. In some instances I'd like to pay tax on that dollar and invest the remaining 66 cents.